Hey, what's good, champions? Arian, Tyson here. Wanted to shoot a video because I have noticed that certain individuals close to me have experienced sudden loss. And as someone who unfortunately can speak to that, I wanted to offer words of encouragement to someone or to anyone that's watching this video who has experienced a sudden loss, and help you learn how to cope with it, so to speak. Having said all that, I want to share this. When things happen out of my natural control, out of our natural control, I always go to what the serenity prayer is. And it was something that I learned when I was a kid. And it simply said, God grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. So that's something that has always resonated with me. It's something that, I try to remember when things come up unexpectedly. And if you've been following me, you know that I have been very transparent about the fact that my father last year died suddenly. It was a sudden loss. It wasn't like he had cancer or anything and there was a slow decline, and then you get to the point where you just don't want to see the person suffer anymore. But for those who have dealt with people that, go to sleep and don't wake up, or those that have passed away in an accident, so to speak, this video is for you. And so I've learned that when it comes to dealing with stress, the goal is to become so strong on the inside that nothing on the outside can affect our inner wellness without our conscious permission. And so the question is, the reality is, so to speak, that how you cope with unexpected stress and frustration can easily be the difference between living a good life and living a sick life. And if you choose unhealthy coping mechanisms, so to speak, like avoidance or denial, you can quickly turn a tough situation into a tragic one. And sadly, this is a common mistake many people make. And when you find yourself facing a disheartening situation, facing a disheartening reality, your first reaction may be to deny the situation or avoid dealing with it altogether. But by doing so, you're inadvertently holding on even tighter to the pain that you wish to let go of. And you're in effect sealing it up, or trying to seal it up inside of you. Now let's imagine someone close to you has grown ill, and supporting this person through his or her illness is incredibly painful. You might not want to deal with the pain, so you cope by avoiding it, by finding ways to numb yourself with overeating, alcohol, drugs, etc. And consequently, you grow physically ill too, while the pain continues to fester inside of you. Now, clearly, that's not good. And if you notice yourself doing something similar, it's time to take a pause, take a cause for the pause, admit to yourself that you're coping by avoiding, and then shift your focus to a healthier coping mechanism. When you face struggles with an attitude of openness, open to the painful feelings and emotions that you have, you find out that it's not comfortable, but you can still be fine. You can still step forward. And openness, think about this. Openness means you don't instantly decide that, you know, this is only going to be a horrible experience. It means that you admit that you don't really know what the next step will be like, and you like to understand the whole truth of the matter. And it's a learning stance instead of one that assumes the worst. So I want to share with you a couple things to remember when you are dealing with things that you cannot control. And I'm going to give you 3 of them, and then I'm going to wrap this video up because I don't want the video to be too long. Think about this. First of all, you have to remember that it's not what you say to everyone else that determines your life. It's what you whisper to yourself that has the greatest power. That's the first thing that you need to remember. Secondly, you have to remember you alone get to choose what matters and what doesn't matter. The meaning of everything in your life has precisely the meaning that you give it. Think about that. And then finally, and this may seem harsh, but it is what it is. And that's just it. It is what it is. Accept it, learn from it, and grow from it. It doesn't matter what you've done. What truly matters is what you do from this point forward. And what I mean by that is, let's say you go through an experience that you did not expect to go through or have to endure. There are lessons in everything that we go through, if we're honest about it. Some may seem harsh, some may not seem harsh, some may seem self-explanatory, but you have to take a look at yourself, because you're the one constant in everything that we go through, that you go through in your life. You're the one constant. And so don't be ashamed to own your truth. Don't be ashamed to talk about the hurt that you feel, because chances are someone feels the same way that you feel. And how will you ever know if you're afraid to talk about it? It's not necessarily that you're reliving the pain, because being able to talk about it and articulate and elocute yourself is how you get to the point of healing. And to do anything, to do something contrary to that is avoidance. And soon enough, you're going to explode like a time bomb. And you're going to take your anger and take your frustration and hurt someone that you never had any intention on hurting. So I wanted to share that with you. I trust that it was of value to you, gave you something to think about. And if you did get value from it, feel free to share this video. If it resonates with you, feel free to like, comment, and again, share this video. Remember, in life, you have 2 choices. You can make moves or you can make excuses, but you most certainly cannot do both. It's yours truly, Arian Tyson, the Moving Motivator. If you haven't already done so, check out my website at www.motivationtoelevation.com. Talk to you later. Peace.